Imagine people who don't have 1,000 hours on a character trying to have an opinion on some shit that doesn't affect them. Shut up. I know I talk about this a lot, but let me give you guys my point of view on Juri versus fireballs, because this comes up a lot. And I was talking to Cayman about it, and ultimately it's fine, right? She has to have some kind of weakness. I understand this, absolutely. I'm not trying to say that like I want her to be broken, blah, blah, blah. This is how I feel about it. I played Juri in Street Fighter 4 because she beat Shoto, right? That's why I played her. Same thing in Cross Tekken. Same thing in Street Fighter 5. They always made it so that if you have a fireball, she has ways around it. And I always enjoyed that. The big reason why I played her. Street Fighter 6 comes along. She doesn't have that. She's a better character, most definitely. She's the strongest she's ever been in any game, but I enjoyed that aspect of her. She's always been a character that requires stores to get going. And like, yes, Drive Rush exists and the drive system in this game exists, so she doesn't need to have her stores. I understand that completely, absolutely. But she still requires her stores to access bigger damage, because every time she uses the drive gauge instead of her stores, it pushes her further into burnout. One big mistake and she's burnt out, and the match is over. So having her stores helps you mitigate having to use another resource. That's always been the case for all the games, right? Instead of doing focus attack dash because it cancel, you could always use your stores. Instead of using EX gauge, you could always use your stores. She's always had her stores to mitigate using another resource. But here's the deal. In Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and Street Fighter 5, same thing as 6. She has to store to start her stuff, right? She has to store. So because she has to store, that means she has to like give up frames, give up time, give up positioning. On top of having to do that, someone could use a fireball to try to keep her from trying to store up. She could always kick the fireball. In this game, if I back up and I try to store to get space and they throw a fireball, I can't punish them for doing so. In every other game, I can bait them into trying to throw it and then do something with that, right? But if I store and they throw and I store, they drive rush and eat 40% of my health. That might be the game. Having to respect fireballs in this game means that every character that has a fireball in the game gets to set the pace, gets to set the rhythm, gets to bait me. They get all this value just because they did quarter circle forward punch or quarter circle back punch. Something, right? They get to set the pace and they get to have power over me that they do not deserve. Straight up. It's like they get to set the pace and I have to like deal with the pace. And there's not much that I can do to make them afraid of it other than jump, perfect parry, and DI. That's it. And I know that's 3 things. And you might go, well, Kale, right? That's good. Except all those things could be baited and all those things could be punished. There is like nothing that I can do that you throw and I go, got him. Don't think that's a good thing. In my heart of hearts, I don't believe that's a good thing. On top of it, at no time do I get to unlock something that I can do that they throw, I go, I got him, except for level 3. That's it. I have to build up 3 bars of my super gauge to be able to do that thing that everyone else can do. And when I say everyone, I mean everybody. Some characters can throw EX fireballs. Some characters have moves that go through. Some characters have command jumps like Aki, dive kicks, stuff like that, right? Some characters could just interact with it. But the problem that Juri has is like, and the reason why I say this, I use the phrase interact, it's because if he throws this, I can't throw my fire. Like, everyone says, well, isn't that good because it goes underneath? I'm punished there, right? I lose drive gauge there. And like, yeah, right? Like, he has to respect that, but he could just block it. And he's still advantage. And it requires me to do something within 2 frames, right? And have some kind of reaction. And like, do something incredibly skillful. That doesn't even punish half of the time. That could be baited. I get it. It's a knockdown. But like, again, the power is in his hands. He gets to set the pace. That's what I'm trying to say about it. And I don't think that's a crazy thing for like someone to like be frustrated about. And that's the issue that I have with anyone who talks about this. Everyone just says, just do this. Or it's not that bad, just do this. Hey, he has to take a risk too. And I understand that, but it fucking sucks to like constantly, like, so many characters just get to set the pace. They get to set the pace. They get to set the traps. It's up to me to take the giant risk. That's not fun. And the big thing that I keep trying to bring up is that when people who are legitimately like top 50 in the world, like top 8 Evo, they're like, just get good. It's like, dog, I will never be as good as you. And if it requires me to be as good as you to deal with it, it's too much, because it's not something that like the average player, like, I don't know the stats. How many people who play this game are above 1800? Because once you get there, I think it starts to even out. I think I saw the stat that like Juri beats Guile a lot of times there. But respectfully, Guile players fucking suck. Guile players are trash. They're trash because of the power they get to wield, because they get to set the pace and they get to just boom. They don't have to do things. And I know that's like a scrub thing to say. I get it. But like, walk with me. If your power is in this move and you get to just trap everybody and set the pace all the time, what happens when you can't set the pace? You fall apart. You think the top 0.8 to 0.9. So you're telling me the top 0.8 to 0.9 of the player base, that's when players are able to combat against this. That's not good for the game. It's not sustainable. That's my point. And I know that I'm right about this because people gravitate toward my stream. They come to my stream. They ask me questions. I get updates about their game. People are dropping Juri in those matches. They're like, I'm not playing Juri versus Guile. It doesn't matter what the stats are. They're not playing it. They're not going to do it. I remember watching Najee. He was in a tournament. He went up against 2 Guiles. He was like, I'm fucking done with this. I'm not playing that matchup. And he fucking immediately started to work on his Cammy. Immediately. It has always been my belief that a character is defined by their weakness. I said this in Street Fighter V. I said Zangief is an example of a balanced character in Street Fighter V. And I stand by it. Everyone goes, Zangief sucks. And he did. But it was fair. Because when he got in on you, you had to guess 50-50. And he had ways to force plus frames and stuff, right? So he had a win condition. He knocks you down. He gets to go in. You might lose straight away. But until he gets in, he's weak. Everyone else gets to set the pace of it. But when he gets in on you, he gets to set the pace of the match. He has a weakness, but he had a strength that was just as strong as his weakness. If a character is weak to something, there should be a time in which they gain a strength to combat it. That's my view on it. That's why the most elegant change that they could do for Juri is to make level 2, the dash, go through. What that does, you have to be skillful to do it. You have to respond to it. You have to be fast about it. And on top of it, it's something that when she has the 2 bars, the aggressor has to go, whoa, hold on a second. I might have to change my rhythm. And that pause is enough to possibly open the game up. It's the same thing as Geef in Street Fighter V. You got to throw fireballs all day. But once Geef got V-Trigger, you had to respect it. The whole game changes. That's how it should be. That's my belief. If I'm going to have a weakness, I need to have something that I can build toward that when it comes up, I can somehow turn the tide on the weakness. To me, that's fair. That's fair game design in 2024. That's just the truth of it. And before anyone says something like, well, Kale, she should have a weakness, right? She has to be weak to something. Why does she have to have something? Because every character in the game has something. And every character that they put in the game has something. Every character that they have added has something to deal with fireballs. All 5 of them, right? All 5 of them. Even if it's EX, right? Even if it's EX, right? They have something. To me, there's no reason that this move and this move aren't marked as fireballs. It doesn't make sense. It's been that case in every Street Fighter. In every Street Fighter, these were marked as fireballs. There's no reason for it. There's no reason that this isn't marked as a fireball. That would change the whole game. That would be enough. Chat, make this a fireball. Why is it not? Why is that not marked as a fireball? It doesn't make sense. It's marked as a strike that interacts with fireballs. Stop it. Seek help. It's so silly. It's silly because doing that alone would allow me to level 3 off of this, right? Boom, I could go into level 3 here, but I can't because it's not a fireball. Come on. Like, I could eat here, right? That would eat. This would eat, but they're not marked as fireballs. Why is this not marked as a fireball? What are we doing? Why is that not marked as a fireball? They legitimately took options that she had in Street Fighter 4, Cross Tekken, Street Fighter 5, and they just took it away because she had option. So what? She can't fly across the screen. So what? She still had option that she just doesn't have access to. On top of it, if you want her to use her dive kick to take care of fireballs, like fine, right? Come on, what are we talking about? Because if the answer for it is that I have to dive kick over it, the onus is way too high on my side. When the fireballer gets to do quarter circle punch, that's just as strong as me doing like an instant dive kick that shaves the fireball really low at a range where I don't hit my ass on the fireball. The onus is on the dive kicker in everything else that I have. It's all these like really skillful things. It's too much. It's too much. It's annoying and frustrating. 100%. My issue is this. There is far too much power that fireballs get in this game for no skill. Respectfully, you get to just throw it and it's up to me to deal with it. Fair enough. But at some point, can I get something? At some point, can I get something that I can like react to? It's not this like split decision, like instant reaction. Let me get something where I can go, oh, is that a fireball? Sick, right? Because like, that's what it is, right? That's too far, right? You saw how late I did that? Like there should be like risk involved when it comes to that, right? Like level 3 works, absolutely. But it's level 3. It's too much of an investment. So that's my issue. I understand. I have to be better than my opponent all the time. I already played Juri. That's already how it is. But the issue that I have is that when is it enough? When do I have to stop being that much better to be even with people below me? Because this sounds like a salty rant, but this is the truth. If I didn't play Juri, I would be a higher rank, 100%. I 1,000% believe that. But I like playing the character. And I think that I shouldn't have to suffer as much as I do just because I like the character. I'm just saying. And I don't give a shit that she's good. That's not the point. The point is that it's frustrating. It's frustrating to 99% of the players who play Juri. And if that many people are frustrated when Juri is like a top 5 popular character, if that much of the player base is annoyed by something, I think it warrants a look at. Just saying. It's not like Juri is a niche character. It's not like she's some character that only a few people play. She's like top 5 popular. And 99% of the players struggle with this thing. So if that many of the player base is having a problem, I think it's a fair thing to look at. Just saying. And it really grinds my gears because I don't think this is like something that Juri players should be divided on. This isn't something that should just be like a controversial take. This is common sense. And I'm trying to think of a way to say it that doesn't but like these are like world-class players. Of course you don't have the same problems, right? You're godlike. But to the 99% of the people who play her, like they're struggling. And I'll say this. It's something that's going to make people stop playing the game or stop playing the character. And I don't think that's a good thing. That's all I'm saying. And it doesn't need to be this thing where like Zangief players will call me dumb and tell me to shut up about it. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be this thing. If you don't play the character, shut the fuck up. Imagine people who don't have 1,000 hours on a character trying to have an opinion on some shit that doesn't affect them. Shut up.